So, here we go. Okay, I don't know why the comment that I just had up for a second, I don't know if you deleted it. Can't seem to find it. But I saw it, I read it. It's basically about this, and like, I've seen it before, but to answer the question, I've not really thought about it extensively. I might have seen it after the Vortex weapon concept emerged in my research, and it feels like maybe I had that thought, but like I don't even know. So it's definitely good to check it out now. Maybe that one. Whoa. Huh. I wish they would have the full image when they do this. Like that. Really need like a high resolution one. They're all low resolution like that. 300. Let's start here. No color, so that's pretty weak in that regard. Also a drawing, so it's not even the real thing. So it might as well be colored at that point. Okay. Maybe this one. This one? Oh, maybe that one. Let's check this one out. Perfect. Okay. Pretty hard to see, but this definitely makes it real clear. We can go to some others for some other color schemes, which seem to be notably different. Like this really accents the red regions, draws attention to them in ways where this just doesn't. Maybe the green is similar, but anyway. So could this be the weapon that attacked the world? This interestingly does look kind of like a vortex going into the world. The world, vortex going into the world. Vortex going into the world, and then maybe even the dragon, like snake bodied dragon head current flows that then branch off. This is also reminiscent of the thing coming off of Nefertiti's back, which then is kind of like a side current. So like the main current and then the side current down between along the eastern boundary of Africa, basically along the East African Rift kind of pathway. These currents, maybe with some subtlety that I'm not picking up on. But I was thinking about it. So a vortex weapon, what we have here, has like a chamber. So there's a chamber here, notably a chamber here and a chamber here, with a like exit valve along the boundary. That maybe this thing as a contains energy that swirls that over time can then push this boundary out away from this container and it physically vents while being in a vortex. And maybe these features are relevant to the shape, like, requirements to make it really functional, even. And then having like a outlet here, so that kind of gives me, and then this looks kind of like a terminal, like that's what I was thinking, a terminal with some kind of like energy flow in a cross pattern, interestingly, that like reaches to this thing and then maybe vibrates it in a way that causes currents to swirl like a tuning fork. Like this, even these little things even look kind of not like rubber, but like kind of like rubber, like the way rubber is used as like a waterproof seal, basically, like a good sealant. It looks kind of like a sealant that then space can just move away from, but like in its normal state, the pressure is just pushing it against the seal, like a cushion shape, and it adheres to the boundary so that it holds the container sealed, and then it can vent along the boundary. I mean, it's in 2 dimensions. I'm just picturing it in 3 dimensions. Like, how would this work? Like the whole thing would have to physically, maybe it just like heats, and by heating, it physically opens a vent and just like basically approaches an equilibrium where the energy inflow is heating it enough to expand it out, allow it to like push out enough. But then at that point, it begins to vent, which then cools it and closes it off, and just kind of like some stability point, maybe something of that nature going on. So for sure I can see it, and it's good to look at this for some more details. I certainly appreciate the assistance in, like, that's really literally what I've been trying to do all along, is to get these concepts into the world for people to then like be aware of and account for. And then, like, for sure at some point it would be on or like too burdensome for me personally to have, like, if the whole world were to be like thinking about this, and in part, like, Lewis willing, then like people would probably want to like tell me the things of this nature, which is awesome. But I could imagine, like, in a time of like distant future, of me not being even able to handle just the inflow of information, and basically trying to like get it so anyone can do it. So it's not like it's a me thing. It's a just an informational thing. And so that's my objective in a way, although it really is in some ways like indoctrination, but it's like to a different reality. We're all indoctrinated, like we're born into a world and then begin to be fed information by agents, people of certain mindsets who indoctrinate their mindset, because that's what we do. That's just reality. There's no avoiding it. So like at least I'm like pointing it out so we can be aware of it and people can freely be like, okay. Whereas in like our world, we're kind of like kept away from those types of thoughts. We don't even like want people to think about like the true circumstances they're under, because then they would want to be free from them. But what I'm saying, I think, is like the opposite, where like at first glance, no one wants to like in any way interact with that type of bullshit. Get that shit out of here. I'm me, doing me. But it like it's actually the case though that it seems. I mean, again, it could be one of those things though where I'm looking for it so much that the evidence just manifests. But like this thing's existed, so like, is that what's going on? That's kind of the issue. Is like I'm just looking at things that are there, and like it's beginning to line up more. Okay, anyway. So, back to this though. I definitely appreciate like helping me out finding things that are clarifying. Like there's probably this even looks like a heat, some kind of base container that has a similar function that then like goes up into another container. Maybe this one feeds into this one. Heat, some kind of engine even. I don't know. I almost want to say that looks kind of engine-y. Maybe someone sitting there and being involved in some kind of energetic way by their posture, their like physical, literally like what the position of this person maybe is relevant. I don't know. Straight up a wizard with a wizard weapon that creates a vortex weapon. That is a vortex weapon that creates a vortex. Okay, let's keep looking though, because there's lots of detail. Like, there's probably the same function down here. If this is what's going on, is there's probably the same function of a resistance to flow here that can be overcome by the opening here being allowing for like movement outward. That then specifically comes up into this region. Maybe this the way this like it's gonna follow this, go up and bend around. Like it's gonna flow along the boundary. So it's almost like it looks like it's intentionally made to wrap the energy back. Like when it opens, so that it, like, and if it flows up here, it's just gonna hit this side. But when it opens, it almost like it pulls away, so the angle's different, so then it actually can flow atop this for some reason, and then maybe interact with whatever is going on here. I don't know if that's, it doesn't really point to anywhere. I don't know why it would do that. Maybe to redirect the exhaust atop the engine thing to like extract more heat from it or whatever, more energy in the focusing. I don't know. This does it again, where these seem to kind of, presumably whatever's underneath his shoulders is the same, and bends back generally towards here, but then it opens. So maybe with enough opening, it opens so that they literally point towards each other. When the current flows along this boundary and then bends this way and this way, and maybe that behaves as like we have this and then just a cross segment from the current like that, so it behaves like a solid dense positive terminal and a subtle ethereal negative terminal. Maybe there's some kind of stoppers here to prevent this like from going too far. spreading out too far to really contain it and make it perfectly focused so it doesn't like dissipate the energy too much. It really focuses it. Maybe the same thing going on with these things. But then coming up here, and then this one is not like back in, it's actually curved out, but then like straightened. So it's possible that as this bends out, it basically straightens the beam out this way. And then there's this J thing here. I don't know which is another one of these actually. I don't know what that would be. A budding to prevent or to create a seal with, if that's what's going on. Interesting, I just noticed these dots, these streams are really prevalent over here. There's one here, but there's none down here. They're all really like in this half. Maybe there's some relevance over here in these things. Hard to say. I mean, for sure, it's just hard to say. Trying to think if there's anywhere on Earth that resembles these kinds of features. On the outer edge. Okay, then we maybe got like a dagger particle, like a particle system with like orbiting systems like electrons with like a dagger aspect to it. I don't know. And particle current with like electrons and some kind of current thing going on maybe. I don't know, but what to make of those things exactly, except just to observe them. Whoa, can we legit do this? Oh shit. Where would I like to focus? Ooh. It's like its foot is on the resistance. So maybe it just behaves as a resistance to the current, as a seal, like that the current physically, as it runs into, like it flows out, runs into resistance and starts to induce a back pressure, which then comes back and like plants its foot on this like seal thing to really just apply a backstop mechanism, maybe. I don't know. That's some type of reasoning for why that would be like a sealant type of thing. So this one, yeah, I think this way is the best way to view it. The sitting down, or this one, the up down. Even though it's not, it's probably more like the opposite downward, where this is the top and this is the bottom. Although maybe it is like this in that case. In some like dimension, like it's all things are relative. Up is down, down is up kind of thing. like flat Earth. I don't know. Pardon me. Like in a ammonite, more of an ammonite Earth, where it's like a not a sphere, but it's more like a coil that is like donut-like, but like really is donut-like because it's ammonite-like. Family's here. I gotta go soon. I'd like to see this in more detail, but not this one. Like the terrible. Save image. Fuck. Da da da. Pakal the governor, great governor, time traveler, and Mayan astronaut. Okay, I should probably stop there. Um, whoa. Oh yeah, 9 gag. Why do I know that? Iron Vimana. Birdman. I haven't seen this one. Mayan King Pakal as a Birdman. That is epic. What? Yeah, so there's that. All right. That's my thoughts on it. Is yeah, definitely that's the Vortex weapon. It's yeah, I think that the things that about the stopper and like some container and specifically driving to make a vortex out of it, it makes sense, and maybe there's like technology in there that's right there. I don't know. Or maybe I'm wrong about everything. I guess there's ways to check at this point. Alright. So, appreciate it. That's my thoughts. Later.